Hello. Welcome to this week. Welcome to my altar. So I was going to say, let's pull a card for the week to see what the frequencies are. So if you're part of my group email or follow me on socials, then you'll notice that sometimes I do frequencies for the week to give you an insight as to what's coming. And so this is one of my favorite decks. This is the Tao Oracle. And as I was saying, let's pull a card together to see what the frequencies for the week, one decided to jump out. Not just a little bit, but a lot. So, this can feel like an intense card. Conflict. Butting your head up against something. But what is this conflict? First reaction when we see this card is often, who am I butting up against? Who am I fighting against? And it's us versus them. Trying to overpower another. But that's not the frequencies for this week. The frequencies for this week are a conflict about holding on. Same kind of concept. You're holding on to your viewpoint, not able to let go. But this is a holding on within yourself. This isn't a conflict against another being. This is the conflict of letting go of the self that isn't you. Letting go of those pieces that you've been shedding, but you're still kind of holding on to. Ever so slightly. Because what if? What if I need them? What if I let them go and then all of a sudden something comes up? It's kind of like I don't know, I got a picture of your sock drawer and you have that one sock and you're like, but what if? What if I find that other sock, the missing sock, the partner? But if I get rid of this sock, then all of a sudden that other sock is useless too. There's a reason you are shedding these pieces of self. There is a reason you've let go of these pieces that weren't actually pieces of you. They weren't actually pieces of self. That core space, right here, that's so brilliantly you. But that all the layers went on top of for all these different reasons at the time that they were put on. They weren't self. They were mirages of self. It's time to let those pieces go. It is time to release that struggle. But I must hold on to it because what if? Fear, right? That aspect of fear of self, losing self. As you are in a tender moment, because when we release these pieces, when we transmute these pieces, when we thank them and we're like, but no, also no thanks, I'm good. It's a tender place. It's a vulnerable place. It's a new place. It's like getting a full fresh body scrub and you come out and you're just a little bit red and raw, but you also feel so invigorated and so alive and so amazing and so tender. Yeah. Should we pull one more to see as a support? Let's keep that guy out. Oh, imagine, I don't do this, but what if you put the card back in and then you shuffle and it comes out again? Okay, so this is another way that I know for myself that the cards are like, yes, please, is they get stuck. They either jump or they get stuck. There's 2 here. Oh. So ways to support. Development. I actually don't pull this card. I don't know if I've ever pulled this card. I've had this deck for a long time. Slowly but surely, gradual process, right? We start here in that newness, feeling tender, feeling so tender. And then as we're like, oh, this actually feels good, and we start moving and stretching and being present as that and trusting in this expression of self, that's when we start being like, I'm here, Care Bear stare. Okay, so that's one way to support yourself this week. Recognition that it's a slow process, and that's okay. Slow and steady. Continue to stretch out of those places where you're just like, yeah, please, thank you. This feels awkward, but also good. Eventually that awkward falls away. And then the other card for this week is, how can you support your material self? Prosperity. By material self, I mean this tangible self. This. What is this? How can you support that? What feels good for you? Massage. Atunona masaki. Laying in moss in nature. Laying in, that plush grass. Right? Especially with the heat. Oh, it's been hot here. The heat. And then you've got that beautiful, delicious layer of grass in the shade. And it just feels so delicious. Swimming. Being in the water. Touch. Like being held by a friend, by a lover, by a family member, holding someone. The clothes that you wear. Anything that feels good, delicious, maybe a little decadent. For those tender, vulnerable pieces of you. Comfort stuff. Now we're not talking like, so comfort food, but that also still supports the higher frequencies. So we're not talking like McDonald's fast food and stuff like that, right? But maybe, for me it's kind of ridiculous. I'm like, not ridiculous. I'm really craving a like delicious juicy pear. That's nourishing. That's actually comfort food. I baked some cookies this morning. That's comfort food for me. So is the act of baking, the physical act of baking, right? Yeah. So letting go of that piece that isn't you, and it's okay to grieve it. Be tender with yourself, but be gentle with yourself. Understand, keep reminding yourself, it's a process, it's okay, I'm doing good. And nourish this physical body as you're moving through that inner world shift. Okay, those are the frequencies for the week. Send you a whole bunch of love this week. Yeah, the new moon last week, we are in Cancer season. The new moon felt like a big, right? Shift, upheaval, like, not upheaval, but just like, it was a big peel away. It was a big peel away. And if you'd like to bathe in some more of the frequencies, please join me this Wednesday at 11. I'm going to be doing a virtual light language activation for grief, of that release of self. Okay? Okay, so much love and Stardust. I'll make sure to link that below. It's a virtual, it will be by Zoom, and it'll be by donation. Okay, we'll talk to you soon. Bye.